Hey, this is Calvin with Impruver. In this video, we're going to demonstrate how you can build a culture of leaders as coaches using Impruver. We believe at a very fundamental level that in order to build momentum and sustain a culture of CI within your organization, leaders need to behave as coaches. So let's go through some of the features that reinforce this concept and help you build a true sustaining kaizen culture. The success of any individual and improver, just like in everyday work, is dependent on the relationship with the supervisor. So let's break down how this works in Improver. Everything in the system works through the natural chain of command. The first thing we'll learn to do is to add or confirm direct reports. Let's start by adding a direct report. From the dashboard, you can select the drop-down arrow right beneath the profile picture and click Manage Relationships. This will give you a few good options here. This will bring you to the invitations page where you can send invitations to direct reports. So I'm going to send one to Jeff Myers here at excelville.com, and let's select direct report. Within this feature, you can also send invites to a friend, a fellow employee, or a direct report. We're going to select direct reports for the purpose of the supervisor relationship, and we're going to send the invite. Keep in mind, you can add multiple invitees at once and send multiple invitations at the same time. Once you've sent an invitation to a direct report, they will actually appear here on the Manage Direct Reports page. As you can see, Jeff Myers shows up here. You can also delete direct reports from this page as well. Selecting the direct report option from the invitations page automatically creates that person's account and connects them to you as their supervisor automatically. But let's say that one of your direct reports signs up before you have a chance to add them. All they would need to do is edit their account by clicking their profile picture, scroll down to supervisor email, and enter your email account here. And click Save. Now let's go back into Mike Harrison's account. So now we're back in Mike's account. Let's go into Manage Relationships. As you can see, there's an orange dot there indicating an action needed. Let's go into Manage Direct Reports. And you can see that Bill has requested you as their supervisor. You just click Approve. And from there, you're all set. The supervisor also has control over administrative rights and what rights they want to grant to their direct reports. You control that in the My Company page. Let's go take a look. So once you've navigated to the My Company page, scroll down to Manage Employees. Here you can see your list of direct reports, and you can grant them rights to edit the company details, add or edit shifts, add or edit production information, production data, manage descriptions, and manage criteria. Simply check the boxes for what controls and rights you want them to have. If you want to remove an employee from the system, let's say they left the company or for some other reason, you can also lock their account from here. Now let's talk about goal cascading and coaching. Let's take a look at the strategy deployment page. So on the strategy deployment page, this gives you a great view into how goals and strategy is cascaded from the C-suite all the way to the front lines. So right now I can see Mike Harrison's view, right? He's front and center. If I click Jack, I can see Jack and his immediate team. But right now we're interested in Mike's team. So again, Mike currently has 6 direct reports. He can see his own goal and deadline. He can see the goal and deadline of each member of his immediate team. Mike's goal automatically becomes the challenge of every member on his team, and therefore they have an aligned challenge from which they can set their own personal goal from. This simple mechanism of challenge to goal cascades from top to bottom, ensuring the maximum possible alignment of priorities. Let's do an example by taking a look at Bill Fitch. Since Bill is a brand new employee, he doesn't have a lot of information, but we can dive into his storyboard so we can set his goal. So right now, Bill's storyboard is completely empty. Let's go and log into Bill's account and set his first goal. So Bill's just going to navigate to his storyboard. And click this little pencil icon to set his goal. Notice on the challenge card here, it's showing the decreased operating cost to $7K per week as his supervisor's goal. This is actually Mike's goal, has become Bill's challenge. This is the same for every one of Mike's direct reports. So Bill can now set his own goal. Since he knows that his manager's goal is to decrease operating costs, he might set a goal to help his manager succeed, but within his own scope of responsibility. As such, he may focus on operating costs, starting at $6,000, and he may want to get to $4,500 for his scope of responsibility. And he wants to achieve this in the next couple of weeks. Going to have weekly PDCA cycles and hit next. Now it wants to know what action he's going to take next. It's going to create a value stream map to help see the waste better. And there it is. Bill is off and running. He now has a goal in place that is aligned with his boss's goal. This has established a leaders as coaching dynamic between Bill and his boss, Mike. So let's jump back into Mike's account and talk about how that might work. So first, let's take a look at the strategy board to show the cascade in goals and priorities. Again, Mike is looking to decrease operating costs, and so is Bill. Mike now has the position to verify the goal and deadline of Bill's goal. Now, this next part is important. Now, what Mike might do next is meet with his direct reports on a regular cadence, and we encourage weekly, if not daily, to drive continuous improvement mindset and project execution through a process that facilitates PDCA. So if Mike were to click this gold tab, what he'd see is all of his direct reports listed in this view. So today we're going to have a coaching cycle with Bill Fitch. So this is what a coaching cycle might look like between Mike and Bill. It's very similar to Toyota Kata. So Bill and Mike sit down. Perhaps this is during their weekly one-to-one meetings. And Mike might say, "Hey, Bill, what's your goal?" Bill might say, "To decrease operating costs to 4.5K per week." Then Mike might say, "Okay, is 1031 still reasonable to achieve this goal?" And Bill might say, "At this point, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be." Sure. Then Mike might say, "Okay, so tell me how it's going. What obstacles are you seeing right now?" Bill might say, "Well, we're having a lot of issues with people not showing up, absenteeism, attrition, and so forth." Then Mike might say, "Okay, that's interesting. So let's talk about what you've done and what you're going to do next," right? Then he might say, "Okay, what's the last thing you tried and what you learned from it?" Since Bill doesn't have anything here just yet, he just set his goal just a couple of minutes ago, Bill might just share some things he's thinking about and some things he's learning just in baselining the situation. Then Mike might say, "Okay, well, tell me what you're going to do next and what you think will happen and by when." And Bill might answer, "Well, I'm going to start with a value stream map, and I think we'll be able to see the waste better. I can have this done by September 5th. Then Mike would say, "Okay, that sounds like a good plan. Let's do it. And I'll talk to you on the 5th for our next coaching cycle." This process usually takes at most about 5 minutes, but when people get really comfortable with it, they can do it in about a minute. All right, this is a great process to use on a regular cadence. Again, weekly is a good practice, but if it needs to be monthly or even daily, you can flex based on business needs. But next, let's take a look at the tools that are in place for performance management. I'm going to go back to the strategy board here, but this time I want to look at Carlos. And let's go a little bit further back in time. I want to see a whole year. So at a glance, I can see how many coins he's earned. I can see how much business impact he's driven. I can see his goal and his progress against his goal so far. I can see what items he has yet to do on his plate. I can see what projects he's engaged in, both as an individual contributor or a project leader. I can get a good sense of what he has achieved, his goals achieved, his projects delivered, etc. I can get this kind of at a glance snapshot for everyone else on my team as well. The next thing we can look at is approvals and certifications. First, let's take a look at Carlos's storyboard to see if there are any goals that he has achieved. So once here, I can scroll down and look for results achieved. And I see that he did complete a project to decrease unit costs on line 2 to $50. I might look at any supporting evidence, any data, any calculations, go out and see the process for myself. And then I can either ask Carlos to input a business impact here, or I can put one in myself if I know what the business impact was. Let's just say it's 75,000, and then I can certify this achievement. Once certified, it's going to ask me to submit his performance for review by his peers or anyone else I'd like to add to this list. Then I'd hit submit. And there it is, creates a certificate of achievement that gets shared amongst his peers. He can also download it for his own records. So I key in Carlos here, I hit search. And it shows me all of the projects, tools, stories, and everything else where Carlos has been involved. I take a look at this project here. It's called Project Zeus. I know that this has been completed and delivered. I can actually change the status here to validate it. As his supervisor or manager, I have the authority to validate and confirm Carlos's projects. Now, this is where it gets fun. As a people leader, it's very important that I keep my people motivated and striving toward continuous improvement and operational excellence. Impruver offers a great gamification or reward system that I can use to keep my people motivated. Let's take a look. So I'm going to click the gold tab here, and I'm going to click my account balance. This will take you to your bank account. Certain actions like completing projects, achieving goals, completing action items earn you cash in the Impruver system. That cash can be used to buy stuff. As a people leader, I can offer my team things to buy. Let's look at this offer stuff to buy tab. So here you can see that Mike has created a list of objects with prices that his team can then purchase from him in exchange for Impruver cash. To create new objects, click this button, add new item, or you can just grab a pre-made list from this sample list, for example. Lists like this can be built and made available by any other user in the software. As people make orders, you can go through the order fulfillment process. Here's a list of open orders. Once those orders are closed, you mark them closed, and then they appear here on the closed order list. For more information on this entire bank account and everything here, check out our How to Gamify Continuous Improvement using the Impruver bank account. The last thing I'll show you is the Manage Cash Ledger for your direct reports. As you can see, the default view here is to see your own ledger. But if you click this drop down arrow, you have a list of your direct reports. Let's check out Bill Fitch, for example. So Bill Fitch is new to the system. We just set up his account and got a goal set. You can see some of the transactions he's generated so far, and he's just got 4 coins in Impruver cash available. So as you can see, the most important relationship in Impruver is the direct reporting relationship between a leader and their direct report. This mirrors the natural way of working within organizations. Impruver gives people leaders all the tools they need to help bring their direct reports along in their continuous improvement journey. I hope you found this video useful. Keep your eye on the challenge, and let's get better every day. Thanks.